in a bow, they steal the show wherever they go. Southern claws and paws, y'all, fluffing fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here. A piglet grins with muddy chins. A parrot talks, a lizard crawls. Life's more fun with Southern claws and paws. Big or small, short or tall, we got room for them all. Southern claws and paws, y'all, fluffing fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here. South, we dress them the best. A possum on a leash, a golden shades, critter couture for the parade. Southern claws and paws, y'all, fluffing fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here.
Yeah, and we were talking before the show, and no cats appeared, and as soon as we go live, cats appear. I'm telling you.
Yeah, she's been laying here.
Oh, has she been laying there? Good evening, folks. Welcome to Southern Claws and Paws with the cat lady and the cornbread man.
Very.
And look at your ears.
Yes,
I love it. Hey, Watchman. Yeah, Barry. Well, they like to come out. They're our friends. Get your mouth on, yeah. We're going to talk an assortment of things tonight, kind of odds and ends, some neat stuff, some stuff. I say neat, just interesting. That some of it I didn't know. I guess I should have known, but I just didn't know. Welcome everybody in the show. We'll go ahead and kick off with a commercial so we have that done. And since it popped right on up, thank you for all you Rumble folks being here. And if you're on Rumble, you know why. It's a great platform, and you see it on the screen now. If you're viewing in and you're not on Rumble, why not get on Rumble? If you haven't done it already, make sure you download the Rumble app. It's free. It's free, simple to use. All my family has got it now. And the best way to stay connected to the content you want, like the Southern Claws and Paws. Once you got it, search for the Southern Fried Podcast or SF, if I can say it right, SF Podcasting. And that's the two main channels we use. We have some others, but that's the two main ones we use. And just hit follow. We appreciate it. That way you'll get a notification every time we go live. No missed shows, no extra steps, just real quick and easy. You can grab it right now by using the link in the description or the pinned live chat. Download it to your phone, and you're ready to go. Yeah. If you prefer watching on the big screen, Rumble is available on all major streaming devices and smart TVs. I've got on 2 in the studio myself. And just search for Rumble, follow the channel, and be part of the action. Rumble. Can't beat it. I tell you what, they've been a blessing to us and the family of podcasters and viewers at Rumble are a blessing. So, yes, like, share, and follow. Yes, thank you, all you Rumble folks. Beautiful, beautiful folks. And others that will be coming in here as well. Well, let's talk pets. I want to kick off with, first of all, how you doing, Miss Jennifer?
I'm doing good, Dave. How are you doing?
Well, as I was telling you before the show, I'm still recovering from my fall.
Yes.
Quite embarrassing. Oh, I saw Dog Tag was in the show last night. You saw that picture. This person was talking about all the leaves on the trail. Somebody said rocks. And I said, I posted that for him because, that was exactly what he was talking about, being on an incline with leaves. And that's where he fell down in Georgia. Yeah, he slipped and fell and hurt his leg on the Appalachian Trail. So anyway, I saw that picture and I wanted to send it to him. And we're excited about a lot of stuff we're going to be doing with the outdoor adventures with Wolf Nation too. So be paying more about that. There's a lot is happening with that. It's just a lot of it is behind the scenes, but it is more and more being released. So anyway, And that will include pet adventures, whatever. It's not just one thing. It's not just hiking. It is your inner adventure. It could be water skiing. It could be you know marathons. It could be just picnic. Whatever that adventure is. Fishing. We'll have fun with it all. So Wolf Nation, the wolf knows. That's our tagline. The wolf knows. Yeah, the wolf knows how to have fun. And that ties back into our pet show. See, so I didn't run too far askew.
It's all right.
But I want to get everybody's opinion about this because I saw this story. And this story is it was released actually today. And the NFL Hall of Famer, Tom Brady, it was been revealed that he cloned his dog.
Yes.
It's not real long. Let's talk about this for a minute. Anyway, he said that it recently announced that he had cloned his pet dog. In an interview with People magazine earlier this month, he showed that his pit bull mix puppy, Junie, is a clone of his beloved dog, Lua, who died in 2023. Colossal Biosciences, a biotech company which Brady is an investor in, cloned the dog using a blood sample collected prior to her passing away. Brady's announcement coincided with Colossal's statement that it is acquiring Viagen Pets and Equine, which cloned Barbara Streisand. I thought she was going to say they cloned Barbara Streisand. I was thinking, no. But that's the way it's written. Cloned Barbara Streisand and Paris Hilton's pet dogs. So while this is not the first time a celebrity has cloned a beloved pet, Brady's announcement has brought pet cloning back into the spotlight. With that in mind, they consulted a leading veterinarian and the pet cloning companies themselves to learn everything and more about pet cloning. It costs between $50,000 and $100,000 to do this.
Wow.
They do also inherit, obviously, the genetic health risk from cloning, and the experts warn that cloning does not obviously recreate personality and raises ethical concerns about animal welfare and the human experience of grief. I knew they had done the dolly, and all that. I didn't know they were doing like cats and dogs. Have you heard of that?
No, not until I saw that on Facebook about him. I was like, okay, or on the news. I can't remember which, but
I do think that opens up a lot. Epson was doing cloning at his ranch in Arizona. Watchman says. Um, I I just think with any kind of cloning, I've always been. I'm not for it. I mean, I'll just say straight up, as far as humans and all. And I always just get this image of what they try to. It's like Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory or something. Creating stuff, and manipulating with God's handiwork and all that. And if you're not a believer in here, that's fine. But even if you're not a believer, I just think this raises serious concerns. Because, like they said, you're not getting the same pet back. You're getting something different. And I mean, I know people miss their pets deeply, deeply. But the genetic concerns alone should be enough to give us pause because of, I say pause as in PAUSE, because of the what would happen. What are you going to create when they create more? That's going to mess up the gene pool and all that, or whatever you want to say. I'm not, I'm not invested enough in it to speak to every level of it, but I do think this is another thing where people's going to take you money. They're going to figure out a way to make whatever happen for money.
Mm-hmm.
This is big money, big money. And I'm sure they'll try to make it more cost effective for people. This is for the big rich elite, but to make it more cost effective for the people that, maybe executives, they can't spend that much, but maybe they could plop down $10,000 or $15,000. I'm sure that's where it's going. That's what they say. Fools their money are soon parted. Yeah, and Watchman, in the case of humans, does God give the clone a spirit man? Well, that's there's just a lot of questions with that. I mean, I just didn't know what was going on. It really caught me by surprise. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. People do things, but I wonder. Touche. Yeah, kitty clones are us. But I will say this. Well, let me get berries. What if there was a disease
Mhm.
a dog was carrying? Do you clone that as well? I don't know how that works, man. I mean, it's taking I mean, if the disease, maybe not because it's taking the genetic DNA, whatever. I mean, out of the blood, though. I mean, it is coming out of the blood. So who's to say? I don't know. I would like to hear more about this. I'm a little bit deeper. I'm gonna do. I would do a little research and find out if that's possible. But I just think this opens up a really bad door for them to walk through.
Mhm.
And with AI, and now we got the cloning issues and everything else. What is real anymore? I mean, um, I don't know. I just think that's. I just think it's very strange to do something like that.
No,
I
stop.
mean, we know animals have offspring, and
Rude.
sometimes I mean, like a normal litter of puppies or kittens or whatever, you'll see obviously those similarities with the parents. Whatever you want to say, the colors, even sometimes the way they act. I mean, I mean, I've seen that in cats before, but this is a whole different thing right here with doing something like that. What's your thoughts on that, Jennifer? I just think it's really strange and weird and dangerous.
Yes, I think it's crazy. I miss a lot of my cats and stuff. I said, but to put down that big of money, there's too many cats out there that need homes. I just go get another one.
Well, yeah,
Um,
and what I was going to say is I'd be curious to hear what, say, a PETA has to say on this. Do they view this as a positive or negative? It'd be interesting to see what animal rights groups would say about this, because
mhm,
if veterinarians are speaking against it, and it sounds like they are, you would think. I mean, it's not harming the health of the animal cloned. I mean, they are what they are, and this animal passed, and they had that. But what are they passing down through the gene pool? What kind of dangers is that? I think that's above my pay grade, as they say. But I think in my gut, it just tells me there's probably problems with that. Watchman says they can use CRISPR-Cas9 tech to change DNA of the thing being cloned to be cloned. Um, that's why you have kitties with jellyfish DNA that glow in the dark in Dago colors. Glow code. Yeah, I got you. Uh, you know, leave it. I mean, humans are always messing with stuff. That's what they do. There's good medical research, there's bad medical research, there's weird stuff, and where does it stop? And is there any regulations? And I don't have time to even know right now, but I would wonder what regulations, if any, this has in it, because it seems like to me they would. And I know we don't like the word regulation. I think you have to have some to a point because people do whatever. That's just
mhm.
to block the idiots of the world, the evil of the world. But what is there any regulations on doing that? I mean, obviously they're a business, big business, and they're doing this on a big scale. Uh, and not only is he doing it, but he's an investor, so he's actually going to make money off of this thing. And I'm sure he loved his
Thank you.
pet, but it was a great way to say, "Hey, look, I did it, and we got a pet that's cloned from our beloved pet, uh, Junie." Anyway, I just think that is very strange, considering that cats and dogs, if not spayed, reproduce a lot, so a clone cat or dog would naturally do the same. Truth, and you're right. Why don't we spend money to get more of that done? Get them, spayed. Um, you can go through several generations of feral cats. Anyway, I just think that's very, very odd. Uh, yes, Watchmen, they were messing with DNA in Genesis 6, making John 2 rows of teeth, 6 fingers, and 6 toes. Man has always wanted to do stuff like that. Anyway, I saw that. I thought I would throw that out there. Let me get one other story up, and we'll go to Jen. I thought she's probably got some stuff she wants to cover. But I was thinking of you, Miss Jen, the cat
Mhm.
lady, when I saw this list, and this list is only about it's this year. It's not most recent, but it's back in the summer. and it is a list of the biggest the cities with they say the biggest cat lovers in the U.S. What cities? There is a Georgia city on the list,
Oh, is
and
there?
there is, and they say what they did is they generated a list that had a combination of cat adoptions and cat pampering product sales at PetSmart. So it's a combination of those two things. So that they come up with a figure, and we'll go through the list. But the number one on the number one city on the list was Lexington, Kentucky. I didn't. I would have never guessed that. I don't know why. I just figured population. That's a pretty big city, but nothing. I would be thinking New York or something, but I
Yes.
guess not. Number two was Green Bay, Wisconsin, which maybe that's you're indoors a lot. maybe you think of cats more. I don't know. Tennessee's on the list at number three, believe it or not. Mount Juliet, Tennessee,
Oh, yeah.
which is number three on the list for 2025. Way out west, Spokane, Washington is number four. Up, and I've been to this town. Falls Church, Virginia is in the top five. They're number five. New York is all the way down at sixth, believe it or not. Another Tennessee city, Clarksville, Tennessee, is at number seven. Fort Collins, Colorado, right in the heartland, number eight. Alhambra, California, number nine, with another California city, Daly City, finishes out the top 10. Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, North Canton, Ohio, Plattsburgh, New York, Sioux City, Iowa, and at number 15 is the Georgia City. You want to take a stab at it?
Go
It's
ahead.
not Atlanta. It's not Atlanta. I'll just tell you that. Although it's close. It's Kennesaw.
Oh, okay.
Kennesaw, Georgia is in the top 15 at number 15 as one of the biggest cat uh, cities or whatever. Not, people that love cats and adopt and buy stuff for them and all that.
Hmm.
San Juan Capistrano, California. I hope I said that right. Capistrano, I think it is. Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. Los Angeles, California is number 18. Number 19 is Oviedo, Florida. Flagstaff, Arizona tops out the top 20. Five more. Commerce Township, Michigan. Springfield, Illinois. Evansville, Indiana. And another Tennessee city. Johnson City, Tennessee is the third, I think that was. One or three? I thought two or three. Is at number 24. And number 25 is Kensington, Maryland. There's your top 25, biggest cat cities for adoptions and buying of products to pamper them. Now, they say, how do you crack the top 25? Well, they say, when boiled down, college towns and suburbs largely made up the top 25 of cat loving cities index, with none of the big three, the U.S.'s big three, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, cracking the top five. More importantly, did your city make the list, they ask? Whether you want to help move your city up on the list or even make the list in the first place, the strategy is pretty simple. Adopt a cat or buy your existing cat pampering products, and that will move your hometown up the rankings. Anyway, and we know that there's a lot of adoptions needed for cats. It's a good time to plug that in. So, yeah. Watchmen in Rome at the Colosseum, they let the kitties roam free. You
Yes,
can't
they
touch
do.
them or feed them. They keep the vermin down. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Barry says yes. Yeah,
Is that true? Real? You got to own a gun?
well, they would never force that. It is true. Way back in the day, and this goes back 25 years probably ago. There was a group of business owners in the city of Kennesaw, and they got it passed that you had to wear a gun, own a gun, wear a gun, all that. That is on the books. There's a picture down there of all of them standing together with their guns. And so, is it officially on the books? Yes. But was it ever be? Uh, yes, by law you do, but they're not going to enforce that. But let me tell you something. I will deviate here just a little bit. And the guy who was a ringleader of this group, Wild Man, they call him. I can't remember his real name. I don't even know if he's still alive. I got invited by somebody to go down to his shop. Uh, I'll tell you myself, as a Christian, I would never go back in. I felt very
Mhm.
uncomfortable in that store, and there was a lot of weird, odd stuff in there. It looked like a fire trap, to be honest. They were just old papers and stuff stored everywhere. Um, when I walked up, this was Wild Man. He's wearing a wife beater T-shirt, cut off blue jeans, and two pistols on his side with a cigar in his mouth.
Oh
That
my
was Wild
God.
Man. Now he was nice, but he looked at me like if if a thief even thought about taking something, I think they get both weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Dent Myers, but he passed away. Barry says I couldn't remember that. I just remember Wild Man. When I walked out, I'll be honest with you, I was afraid I was on the FBI list. Truth, I'm not even joking. There was stuff in there I would not want my kids to see. I didn't
Yeah.
want to see it. And I will leave that for another time.
Okay. But
Not all
wow.
might agree. I'll talk to you offline about it, Jim. But I went there with a friend and I said, "What the?" I was driving that day. It was a friend I worked with. We were both in reenacting and we're still great friends. He said, "Oh, you got to see." And by the way, the general is just across the street or right kind of across the street in the great locomotive chase and all that. And that's a great place to go see. It's a working shop and all that. And the general's there. That's all cool. There's a lot of little stuff to do right in that little area, which is a huge college town. College people everywhere. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Kennesaw University has just swallowed up Kennesaw anyway. But anyway, I come back across this, across the street. No, we went out to the car. That's what it was. I said, "What the heck did you take me to?" Hey, angry conservative, how you doing?
Hey.
Watchman, feel free to. We'll have to talk offline. I'm not going to put it on here because I will probably start stuff, and this is our pet show, and I just don't want to go there. And I don't care if you agree with me or not. It's just
We
it's a
have
little it's a
pets.
little controversial. So for me anyway, and I would just leave it there. So
Sorry,
um,
y'all.
I'm willing to talk about it. I just don't want to talk about it on the show. But Barry, I'll just ask this: Barry, have you ever been there? That's what I want to know. But the picture is there, and they're all posing with their weapons. I'm surprised it's still in the books, but it is in the little city of Kennesaw. You must. It's a law. You have to own a gun and wear it. I think, but at least own it. Anyway, I hope Angry Conservative 1981. Y'all give him a follow. He's
Yes.
a fine feller. He's a Ohio State football fan, but he lives in the great state of Alabama. So we give him Southern love. And I thought maybe Wild Man had stuffed kitties. No, no. Well, no, there
What?
wasn't. I see where you're going. No, that wasn't there. No, it's oh, I'll just have to move on. Anyway, Miss Jen, what you got? I'm sure you got something you want to cover. Then I've got two or
Well,
three more that I want to talk about.
you can go ahead because I really wasn't prepared for to print off anything.
Okay.
So
Well,
you
I,
go
I
right
will just
ahead.
a couple of more little things here. And it's common sense stuff, but hey, sometimes people just need common sense. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
you gotta, there are times you have to just. And let me get one more commercial in. Here we are. Since we're in Rumble,
Oh
we're going to talk
wow.
about Rumble Premium, and then I'm going to get this thing about dog adoptions. So anyway, now that you got your Rumble app, it was free. Then you can go premium, which is great. Uh, you know, Rumble's growing fast. The big money people won't do business with them. They try to exclude them. So, but Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech, and they do that. We've all been under that free speech and protected by that at Rumble, where other ones have let us down. And now there's Rumble Premium, yes, and we have been a Rumble Premium now for many months. A subscriber, an easy way to upgrade your experience with Premium. You get ad-free viewing across the platform. That's nice, Barry. I know you hate some of the commercials, Barry, so this is a way to do it. No pre-rolls, no interruptions. Just the content you came for, like this knucklehead right here. Not Miss Jenna. That's a cat lady. I'm just a knucklehead. Plus, premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind the scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription, which is cheap, by the way. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. And the cats are going crazy. They're off the chain. What in
Yeah,
the world are the cats doing over there?
they done knocked my mouse over. Roxy done laid on the keypad and the keyboard and brought everything else up, and I'm like, okay, y'all. So here comes another
Uh,
one.
Barry said there's another city that passed that. We'll have to talk about another show. I'm interested in it. Crime rate drop. Good evening, my neighbor in Georgia. Good evening to you. Oh, great one. I learned from you. He's like the master. I'm the student. You know. He reached out to us and been teaching us the way. Well, butter my beans. Do you butter your beans? Is that I butter my cornbread. I butter my roll. Do you butter your beans? That's a good old saying. I like that.
Mm-mm.
All right, real quick. When you adopt a dog, and I'll ask Miss Jennifer this or anybody in the chat, do people adopt the wrong dog for them?
I think so. Yes.
I do too, and I'm going to tell you one where I would want to be very careful myself. And I stay busy, I stay active, but you have to be careful. So, some practical things to keep in mind before adopting a dog. Uh, Butter my butt and call me a biscuit. I've heard that one too. That's not the practical thing that we're talking about. Daily routines will change. So, you got to remember, you're bringing a new
Ooh, I
time
need it.
changer in your house. Everything's going to change,
Hmm.
whether it's a cat or a dog. Doesn't matter. Things are going to change, even though this is about dogs. You're going to have to include walks and bathroom breaks into your routine. So you might be interrupted while you're watching your favorite ball game or something. I mean, it might happen. You will need to pet proof your home for your dog's safety. Yeah, just like
Hmm.
you're bringing a little kid in because they're big old kids and they will start getting into stuff and sniffing around and biting and chewing. And you got to teach them all that stuff. You got to put the chemicals away, all that stuff, just like you would for a kiddo. Dogs can be messy. Well, we know that. You have to clean up the fur, the drool, the dirt they bring into the house. Dog food, toys, and trips to the vets can and are costly, very much so. Now, um, this particular article says don't make a rash decision. This is important because you go to the shelter and you're walking through. And when we went, it was the county shelter. So you got all the dogs barking, they're wagging their tails, which really actually it scared my granddaughter. She wasn't because these were big dogs. I mean, you can imagine big hunting dogs all barking at the same time with that deep, bark. But reason she picked Coco, it was Coco's mother, her, and a sibling. But Coco was the only one that was laying there, and she looked at her with them sad eyes, and Kaylee was done for. That was it. That's the one. That's the one. We didn't even go to the other. Well, I think we might have walked to the other side. She had already made up her mind. But you got to be careful because your heart will get invested in this. You think, oh, I got to take this dog home. It looks so sad, or I just fell in love with this dog. And the reason that you got to be careful with that, and because maybe it's cute, or it looks funny, or it's jumping around, whatever it is. But what if the energy level of the dog is more than yours? I
Hmm.
know people who have just about worn themselves out because they adopted a dog that their health and their ability to go just could not stay up with. And a healthy dog needs to be played with, especially, one's older, sickly, maybe they're going to lay around a little bit more. But a young dog, they're going to be, and they're wanting to play fetch, and you walk them and run them and all that stuff. And if you don't got no help with that, it's going to wear you out.
Yes, it is.
And I know for myself, this would be hard because honestly, I've got a bum knee. Now I got a bum foot because of my fall. And I just don't have the energy that I used to. I know that's hard for me to admit, but it's true. And Coco is a inside dog. Coco doesn't, but sometimes that dog gets a lot of energy, the zoomies or whatever. But
Yes.
Kaylee takes care of her. because she don't even come to me because we've talked about that before. She don't like men, so I'm just out. But you got to be careful with that. And or if you take on a responsibility of a dog or a cat, and it has a lot of health issues, you're going to be going through surgeries, and there's a lot of expense. Some people, and I think this is where we talked about last week, Jen, they don't mean to do the wrong thing, but they end up with all these pets in their home because they can't keep up with it, and the cost gets out of control. And then they went from a bad situation to a horrible situation.
Yes.
So I just think that's um, most folks. Thank you for the comment. Who have pets will not go to the vet anymore. No one wants to be any part of vaccinations for their pet or themselves. Interesting. I haven't thought about that. That's an interesting comment. I didn't know that. I have. Have you heard that, Jennifer? I did not know that people had stopped because of that. Uh,
No, I did not know that either.
Watchman says, "Yeah, I would be wary of taking a pet lest they get a mRNA shot." Okay, fair enough. I didn't. I did not even think about that. So, y'all bringing stuff to my attention. There are vets coming out against the yearly rabies, and that is actually toxic.
Hmm.
So,
There's a rabies shot that's actually 3 years. That's the ones that mine has gotten this year,
yeah,
so I don't have to take them back. But
interesting. I did not realize that. So, thank you for the information.
leave it
But
alone.
as costs have went up, and it's it has definitely affected people probably taking ours is due, um, past due actually, and we had to reschedule. I think I got sick the day we was going to go, and I didn't have anybody else to take my granddaughter, so we got to reschedule. And she was asking me about it the other day. But yeah, I just think that you gotta realize that you're going to be keeping this dog from anywhere to 10 to 15 years for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big investment. That's a big responsibility. You just don't throw that around. And how many people maybe have the idea I'm going to get a dog, and that fun feeling lasts for about 6 months, and they're just kind of done because it's getting into their playtime, or they just lose interest, and the dog is stuck now. They don't, you've adopted a dog, and now you don't want it. And most people that have animals, I believe, care for them, are good owners and all that, or their job situation changes. And we talked about this a few weeks ago, how people that are the illegals, they're leaving animals behind sometimes because they're running out of a community because they feel like they're fixing to be picked up or whatever. That's happened. They found animals tied up, to stuff in the yard and stuff, and the people are gone. That's happened a lot. Or people have moved and they just because they're jumping to the next town to rent because they've let the rent get behind. Sometimes, and they're not good owners. No, they just leave the animals behind. So,
Yes.
or somebody dies. Sadly, that can happen too.
Yes.
Uh, but anyway, I just thought that was good stuff to think about as you think about the dog's habits. Some breeds you've got to interact with a whole lot more. Do not get a Dalmatian unless you really are going to be active with that dog. I know
Yes.
that. You can't do that. It'll drive the Dalmatian crazy. They require a lot of attention. Some dogs are a little more docile. You know, maybe they sleep a lot, but even when they're awake, they may not be very very active, especially age or something like that. So anyway, your thoughts on that, Miss Jen?
Yes. I mean, certain dogs, they like German shepherds. We had the one next door to us that would come up to my house to be played with by either me throwing the ball or my two nephews because I don't think they did anything with him. But if he
Yeah,
heard us, or I could even walk outside and I'd call him and he'd come running because he knew he'd get the attention. And it's like, and when we left, I don't know what happened to the German Shepherd like a couple of years before we moved, but they had a pit, and he stayed. I think he stayed inside most of the time because he come outside whenever and kind of roam around, and he like barked at me. I'm like, you ain't gonna bark at me in my yard, dude. Go. but
Yeah.
but yeah, then some are just as calm as they can be, and it's okay, But you don't want them just to be lay around dogs, because then it just ages them more, I think, and makes them progress.
Hey,
And
Merck, I will say this in Chattanooga, and I've went and helped and volunteered, and I helped to package a bunch of it, like a bunch when we went. You can get food for your animal at the food bank. I didn't know that. It
hmm
is donated, and we went back, and I mean, they had these huge boxes that were filled with cat food and dog food in the can, and we some of it was in other containers, but most of it was in the can, and we were bagging that up into smaller, so when the people come through the shop, they could. I think they were putting like a bag of 10 or 20, or I think it was 10. They would pick those up uh, according to what size the can was. That's what it was. According to the size of the can, how many they put in a bag. But they actually come through and shop at the food bank with a buggy. I mean, they go through and they have different shelves, and you can get one thing here, three things here, whatever it is. And they would have a pet area, and you could even get. Sometimes they would even be flea collars or whatever. You never know what was going to be donated. But I can tell you, they had a massive amount of food for animals as well. So somebody that doesn't have the money can get it if they will reach out
hmm
to a food bank or one of their many pantries, because I'm sure they help fill those up as well. And the challenge is real right now, no doubt. I think now that they have gotten the government cranking back up, that'll alleviate some, but the need is always great. And yes, the animals do suffer, but you're right. But a lot of people may not realize that they can go do that. I'll be honest, before I went up there and volunteered, I would have never known they had dog and cat food back there. I had no idea that they carried stuff like that. And, probably they get a lot of deals for stuff that's nearing going out of date or something. And a lot of stores will remove stuff, but it's still technically good for a while, and it may be some of that, or it's just donated. Um,
yes,
I don't know if not every city maybe has one, but they may have some similar. But all the big cities have pretty good sized food banks, so that was cool. Um, yeah, man, the food banks in many rural areas are distributed to their friends, and many folks won't get anything. Well, and again, there's not enough to go around. I will tell you that. I've talked to them. Dalmatian and Huskies, everyone wants them till they have them. They're
hmm
very active animals, absolutely. Um, it is a nice food bank, Barry, and we've had Miss Melissa Blevins, the CEO, and I'm going to call her. I've been saying I'm going to try to get in touch with her tomorrow and get her back on the podcast. She came on the morning show actually, so this is a rare time that we do interviews on the morning show, but it fits her schedule really well. So I'll reach out to her. I want to get her back on and kind of get updated. I kind of waited for a bit while the government was down. I knew she was scrambling and busy and everything. I didn't want to bother her. But I can say that there are two big box stores in the area that sets up during December. That is probably kicking off right now, or we'll fix it. It's a great time to have her back because people can give in those boxes in those stores, and it's their biggest fundraiser, whatever you want to call, of the year. Huge. And let me give her a call tomorrow or an email. I'll email her, and we'll see where we're at. But I understand. Yeah, there's not enough to go around. They'll tell you that. Got our son a husky. That dog was bonkers. He chewed up at least $1,000 worth of leather. Oh, just teach folks to water the kibble and add the table scraps. And then there's cat dogs and cats are kind of picky sometimes. Maybe they don't like certain things. Maybe they do or
hmm
they don't. I don't know. But I had one other thing I wanted to bring up. This was in Boston, Massachusetts, which I can't recreate that. And
Boston.
this was on the 13th. This was on the 13th, and we know this kind of crap happens too. But in Boston, in the water, there was an alligator.
Mm.
Uh, it was a
Hey,
small alligator.
Elizabeth.
It was a small alligator. Someone spotted it. I'll see if I can share the screen here real quick. And let's see here. find the right one. There we go. And then we'll go to presentation there. And there it is. There is the little gator that was in the water.
No.
And they found this thing. Um, Somebody saw it swimming along, and everybody started talking about. But somebody went and caught it for them, and then put it on a wildlife or a park or something. I don't remember where they said they put it. Oh, here's the picture of it in the water. Let me show this one because this was where they actually showed it. There it is. That's in the water. It's not huge. Somebody got that thing as a pet and then just got
Mhm.
rid of it. That's what happens. They always talk about, is it really true that they find things like that, iguanas and whatever else in the sewer system? I bet you it's true because people do crazy stuff. But yeah, in Boston. Oh, but somebody, I forget who went. Somebody went and actually they have it. They're actually waiting on a permanent home. A local wildlife educator captured the critter on that Wednesday night. This came out the 13th, and on that Wednesday night, it's now waiting a permanent home. So it might have been taken care of by now. But the person walking by did a double take because they thought that can't be what I'm seeing, but it was.
Lord.
Oh, um, hey there, Miss Elizabeth. Uh, if they're picky, they need to learn to hunt. My dad said it was on the table. You know how those motorcycles ride around the walls at the fair? That husky would run around there until he got enough momentum to run around the wall. Now, that would be funny. Considering a sewer with the methane gas might be warmer in the wintertime. Well, that's a thought. You guys always come up with these interesting thoughts.
Mm.
I love it. I don't some of the stuff I don't even consider. But but what you got anything, Jen? I got one other thing that
Yes, I did find something, Dave, that we could talk. It's cats, and then it's a couple of things I didn't even know. One thing it says
wait a minute,
cats.
that's groundbreaking. The cat lady didn't know. This is amazing.
I know it is, isn't it? It said cats are believed to be the only mammals who don't taste sweetness.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says. What it says. And then, did you know that cats can drink seawater as their kidneys are able to filter the salt out of the water?
I can say I did not know that.
So I did not know that until I had printed this off, a while back when we first started this. And then it says a cat's purr has the power to self heal according to research. So,
Cat power, baby.
yes, yes.
Did you know? I don't know if you saw our video, but did you know that if you ride a horse in the ocean, its tail will go up straight and they'll poop all over the place? Did you know
I
that?
saw that.
Did
I
you
saw
see
that
that video?
on.
I was
Yes,
like,
I saw that.
he was, I was so not, I had no clue what he was fixing to say. And he said that, and I was like, what, what are you talking about? And it went downhill from there. But well,
Bad.
because the people that are behind you on their horses, if you're the lead horse, you're okay. But all the horses behind you have to walk through the poop, the floating poop on the ocean. Okay. I can also say I never knew that.
No, me neither. Because I mean, I see horses, walking up the beach, but I didn't know that they're gonna poop in it.
I had a husky mix, and the zoomies were insane, but then they got older. They just lazy. Well, I could see that. Yeah, they just lazy. Yeah, it's funny until it happens to you, Dave. Which thing? The dog running around the room or the horse? We gave him to some family that living on a farm so it could run wild there. I got fed up with it eating my wallets, guitar straps. My cat tried to drink dishwater once. Cats for a 28 cycles per second, the same frequency as a diesel engine. That's why they say that an engine purrs. Interesting. Hey, I'm gonna laugh at it no matter, man. I mean, if it happened to me or if it happened to you, if it happened to both of us, I just think it's funny. Hey, I went visitation once with a church and my pastor. He was a shorter gentleman. He's in heaven now, and he was scared to death of dogs. And he said I will witness to anybody. I'll invite anybody to church. He said, but you guys got to shield me from the dogs. Here's this guy. He could preach through hell, but he was scared of dogs. And the first house they went to, this big old I forget what kind of dog it was. It come up and it put its paws on his shoulders, and it scared him to death.
You watch me.
But we went to a house, and they had a gate, but the gate was open. I mean, you could open it. And I was going to leave a flyer for an event we were having. This is out in the country. And my wife says, what if there's a dog in there? I said, well, we just going to have to agree to disagree or get along or something. I said, because I'm going to leave the flyer. She said, you're crazy. She's scared of dogs too. Out like that, you don't know them. So I opened the gate. I closed it. You always close the gate. I walked through. And about halfway between the gate and the house, the biggest, baddest looking dog kind of walked around,
Hmm.
around the back of the house, and he just looked at me. And I said, well, two things. One, I told my wife I was going to put the flyer there, and I'm going to. And where I'm at right now, it really don't matter. To the porch or to the gate, I don't think I make it. I don't. He's going to outrun me. So we're just going to have to walk with faith here. So I walked on towards the, and the dog came up and growled. And I just talked to that dog like it was, Tom down the street. And I said, how you doing, buddy? I'm from the church, and I got to put a flyer on the porch, and you can walk with me. You can escort me. And that dog did. It escorted me all the way to the porch. I put the flyer on there. Actually, I think I knocked on the door, too, to make sure see if they were there. The dog didn't like that, but he didn't do nothing. And then I left the flyer. I walked down, back down the steps, across the porch, down the steps, to the gate. The dog stayed with me the whole way. Had its head right by my leg. Like, I will eat you up if you do something I don't like. I got to the gate. I just opened enough I could get out. The dog didn't try. Closed the gate, and I went back and sit in the car. And my wife says, I know you're crazy. I can't believe you just did what you did.
Hmm.
And I said, well, and so I used it as a moment, and I said, well, I was like, that's what they call faith.
Don't turn that over.
I said, you want to go back and test your faith? My wife said, oh, heck no. It wasn't a Great Dane, but doggone it, it was a big old muscular dog and
Hmm.
tall. Not a German Shepherd. It could have been not a husky, but what's those other dogs? What's the other Alaskan dog? A Malamute or something like that. Ain't that
Yes.
what it is? It could have been something like that. It's a big dog, muscular. It wasn't a collie or not like that. Collie just be jumping around. Now this dog had to look like it could tear you to pieces, but it wasn't a pip, not like that. It was just a big dog, and I was in no man's land. Like if I'd saw the dog before I opened the gate, and he was growling, I probably would have left it alone. But so we get back, and my pastor's talking about the dog putting his paws on his shoulder and licking him on the face. I said, well, I had a dog that growled at me, walked with me. I Yeah, Malamute. I think that it could have been something like that. So, uh, but have you now? I saw we used to have some neighbors that had a dog, and they kept their gate open, and the dog would run out and chase cars, which is bad. That's a bad dog owner to let that kind of stuff happen. So my
Hmm.
dad, us kids walking up the road, the dog would run out, act like it was going to bite us. And my dad, we had to work on the car one day. We had a parts store that was just up the street, but you had to get up on the highway. And my dad says, let's walk up to the parts store, boy, and I'll get this part, get it put back on. I said, hey, Dad, I said, that dog down there will come out at you. And Dad said, well, let it. I'll deal with it. And I'm like, I stayed back. I was like, Dad, you're going to get eat up. And that dog did come out. And my dad turned to it and said, don't you dare. That's all he said. Dog stopped in its tracks. looked at him, kind of shook his head a little bit, turned around, and went back. I was like, "You got dad powers. That's pretty cool." Washington said I had a Rottweiler and a Shar-Pei. They would get to fighting. I'd break them up. My wife said I was crazy. You dang right, man. I mean, the Rottweiler. I don't know about. I don't really. I can't think off the top of my head how tough a Shar-Pei is, but I know Rottweilers and I know what they can do.
Hmm.
But well, they always say like you don't want to get between fighting dogs or something. But I seen my dad do that once. Two German shepherds. That
Oh
was
wow.
vicious, and I don't even know what set it off. We were working on the farm. We were down in the fields, and I think what it was. One of the dogs was theirs, and one was a neighbor's. And I think the dog just got territorial, like, "What are you doing here?" And I think that's what started it, or felt that that dog was a threat to their family. It was the ugliest fight I ever seen by dogs in person ever. I've seen stuff on TV. It scared me to death, and that people that think because you always got the plan of what you're going to do if you got attacked by a dog. What if you got attacked by a pack of dogs?
Hmm.
I think the cat wants to get on the microphone there.
Oh, that's actually me messing with it.
Oh, I thought the cat's tail
No,
was in it.
no. He's
Shar-Pei is a Chinese
watching it
fighting
though.
dog. The skin looks big for them amazing dogs. I'm just not as familiar with them. Thanks for sharing that. I wouldn't want to get in between them. I will share this story real quick, and it's a sad story, and I think I've mentioned it before, but it just is what it is. We had went to look at a car my father-in-law was thinking about buying, and we went to this house, and they bred um, Rottweiler, not Rottweilers. What's the other one that everybody talks about? Always dog bites and stuff. What's the other
Pits.
one? Not pits. They raised the pits, and it was a nice, big, nice property, and they had a huge dog kennel with high fences, and one of the dogs was jumping to the top of it. And when I say a tall fence, I mean not. I mean pretty tall. I don't remember, but I said, well, it's a good thing you got tall fences. And they said, oh, if I wasn't standing here, the dog could get out. She's upset because she has puppies right now, so she's not happy you're here. So I just wanted to show you what they look like. We better walk away. So we were leaving anyway. So we went through the gate, uh, and I noticed the gate was kind of half open, a little bit cracked, because they had the kennel. So the gate to the property was not fully closed. As I walked out, I looked and there was a little girl playing with a ball. And in the back of my head, I thought, I feel uncomfortable here. Something just doesn't feel right. Like maybe you should keep the other gate closed too. I don't know. It just felt weird to me after I seen that. And like 2 days later, that mama dog got out, jumped the fence, went through that other gate, and attacked that little girl and killed her. It was all
Oh
in the news.
no.
We had been standing there 2 days earlier. It was a tragic, tragic story. It made me sick at my stomach. And that was bad owners. They knew they had a problem. They should have had a top on it. They didn't have the top. And anyway, it was a bad, bad scene. And that was one of the first ones I ever remember in my area. I was in my very early 20s, like 21, 22, somewhere in there. And I never remembered anything like that in my community ever happening. It was on the
Mm.
Tennessee side of the border, but it was bad. Uh, Limerick says, or Merck, excuse me. Great Pyrenees, they are guard dogs of the family animals. I understand they're great animals.
Mhm.
I went when we got Coco, which is a little bitty pound of nothing. I mean, it's she's healthy, but she's not that big. But she acts like she's you know guarding the Egyptian army. But we walked in the pet store right after we got out of the shelter to get a couple things for her. I went around the corner and this guy had two of those, and they both barked at the same time. I was about ready to run out the front door. He said, "Oh, they just make a lot of noise. They don't bite." And I said, "Well, we're going to give way. We're going to go in the next aisle. When you clear the aisle, we'll come back around." I don't think they want to share the aisle with us. These are I'd never been up close to them until that day. And I'm holding this. Kaylee wanted me to hold the dog, but she was afraid. She would, she wasn't used to having a dog. And she was like, if something happens, I just want you to, because she said the dog is a little more, it doesn't move for you. It's kind of moving around for me. And I'm not used to it yet. Anyway, so I carried the dog while she shopped. And we went around the corner, and I thought, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
the Rottweiler chomp a peekaboo little dog once. So Alistair spit him out, and he did it. Whoa, okay, wow, 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 wow.
Mm.
Little dogs are good to hunt rats and critters. Big dogs keep off bears and humans. Well, that's a way to put that. Well, what do your cats do? Do they ward off the enemy? If they have a plan, if a home invader comes in, and the cats go all just dive and jump on this person, or are they gonna run and hide behind
No, they're
you?
gonna go run and hide. I mean, they may growl, and then they're gonna go run and hide. Yes, him is.
So no more tragedies, no more cat walls or anything falling or anything like that.
No,
Have they been good?
no. Yeah, we've been pretty good. Oh well, Jasmine turned over a half a pitcher of tea the other night on the counter, so I had that mess to clean up. I was like, really? So it was a mess. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Hey, somebody mentioned Great Dane though. I was a good friend of mine. They had a little schnauzer, but every once in a while, a friend of theirs had gotten a Great Dane, and they would dog sit this thing sometimes. You know, when if they had to go out of town. And I went over to his house one day, and I was watching, I was watching them, play, the dog, and I was like, I mean, sitting on the couch when the Great Dane walks up, you're looking up. I mean, you're looking up at the Great Dane. He's got a big head. If you've ever been around him, you know what I'm talking about. And so but the dog was very friendly. It was like a big old baby. And so I don't know why it chose me because it had never met me. We're sitting there watching a movie or something. I think we were watching a War Between the States movie or something. It just how he came out. This dog, this dog gets up and you can't get in your lap. It's too big. But it got up on the couch and it kind of got up into my lap and was like laying. It was doing its best to lay on me. I had a mountain of dog in front of me,
Mhm.
and if it raised its head up, I couldn't even see the TV. I was having to look around the dog's head because it's such a big dog. But they lived in an apartment. I said, "How the heck do you keep a Great Dane in an apartment?"
Oh goodness.
But that's what they had. I tell a story of when I was a meter reader. There was an older dog, and she was upset. She walked right up out of the blue and bit me. Did not break the skin, but bruised it. That's kind of scary, man. Things can happen.
Uh-uh.
Only dogs ever bit me was a little Dachshund when I was about 6. I still have the scars. The dog left me alone. I think they were laughing at me. Well, hello there. I was trying to figure X, bad trip X.
Bad perfects. Hello.
I love
Quit.
these names.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was one other I missed, I think.
Quit
Oh,
right.
yeah. So, yeah. Well, thank y'all for all the comments. It's a blessing, and the shows get growing. And join us each Tuesday night at 8, and we'll continue talking issues. I want to dive a little bit more in the cloning. Little dogs bite, big dogs know they can kill you and don't bother.
That's
Well, that's just a matter of fact statement right there, and I get it.
so cute. That's so cute.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Let me knock out one more ad here since it popped up, and then we'll go out with some music. Thank you for all your support. Y'all are awesome.
I'm
And
glad you stopped by.
we've talked about the AIM controllers before. They're for all you gamers out there, if it'll let me do it,
Hmm.
it is acting up. Let me try again. That's the wrong one, and it's not letting me. So there it goes. All right, ready to level up your game? AIM controllers is where custom meets unbeatable value, and I've covered these before. It's pretty amazing stuff. And right now, it's the best deal of the year. We start with the official Sony and Xbox controllers, fully compatible with console and PC, no functionality lost. Then you go wild with custom features. This is pretty cool. Smart bumpers, paddles, grip, stick hot, custom buttons, even design your own PS5 snap panels. And boy, they went up on those too, those PS5s. Wow. And here's the part no one else is doing: lifetime warranty on all modified parts. I've never heard of that. That's right, lifetime. What other company does that? Exactly. Normally, a fully loaded setup could run you $400, but during our one price promo, it's just 209 US or 182 euro, no matter how many features you add. So you can just trip it out or trick it out or whatever they say. Use code Rumble at checkout and lock it in. This is your sign. Go to aimcontrollers.com and build the best controller you'll ever need. We need to make sure Steve gets in on that because he's doing all that gaming now.
Yes.
He's been playing. What is it he plays? It's
It was the forest at first. Now last night though he was doing a military flying battle or something.
What does he know about flying a plane?
His own team kept hitting him and making him.
Did he crash?
Die. Yes.
Oh, I've got to give him a hard time. Folks, give the Half Pine Forge live, and Half Pine Forge a follow. He's a great dude. A Dachshund to speak Morse code. Wow. Well, now they're doing all these things with the micro stuff and all that. So the bugs. It's the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, love your pets. Do adoptions. Spay and neuter. Give supplies if you can't adopt or whatever. Hello, cute cat. And, be safe out there. And, if you can, take one out. Go get one. Take them out for the day. Most of them have deals like that. You can take and walk a dog in the park or, take it to the park and walk it. Keep it for 2 or 3, 4 hours. And that would mean a lot to a dog. You don't have to keep it. You can bring it back. And I think that's pretty cool stuff. A lot of shelters have things like that. And you go have fun. Dog has fun. And that's kind of cool. So if you can do stuff like that. But we'll see you in the next show or the next week for the Southern Paws. Miss Jen, thank you as always.
Thank you, Dave.
And I hope the cats stay healthy and don't knock down anything else because I think they're on their last life. I'm not sure, but I think. Y'all have a great night. God bless.
Bye, everybody.
Post. They're the critters that we love most. A hound in a hat or a cat in a bow. They steal the show wherever they go. Southern claws and paws, y'all. Fluffing fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here. Muddy chins, a parrot talks, a lizard crawls. Life's more fun with Southern claws and paws. Big or small, short or tall, we got room for them all. Southern claws and paws, y'all. Fluffing fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here. The South, we dress them the best. A possum on a